Hello, ladies and gents. I'm here to report on the latest episode of I Live in a Soviet Republic called New York City. Now, this is the our illustrious not murdering mayor, but woke mayor. You can't be serious. He has defanged the police. Police basically can enforce things, and even when they do enforce the law, they can't arrest people and put them in jail even under violent crimes because they're victims of the capitalist system. Oh, you rotten communist bastard. And yet he's what you call a rich communist. The man has never worked a day in his life. Not a day. Neither his wife. No, 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 they came from rich Marxists. And yes, his background is particularly gruesome. He lived with his mother and his father, and he was subsidized by them, the mother being a film producer and helping him with his rap career, and his father being an academic, or was it vice versa? No, I don't know. All I know is this man is trying to stabilize New York by getting rid of all the old middle class and all the rich who pay most of the taxes in this metropolis. Once they leave, we'll have no money to pay for all the goodies that he is going to try to provide. That bastard. Well, anyway, his wife, who hates the Jewish people and hates, which is an irony that a lot of these types of people who are Jewish endorse these bastards. It's like letting your own executioners into the country. They have a facility for beating up Jews, um, and very violently. Well, they're communists. Communists and Nazis have two very great habits. They settle arguments with their fists, their clubs, or their weapons. Is anybody talking to Antifa? Anyway, the New York City Police Department just showed a little backbone, and it's not going to escort this monster. And she is a monster. She thinks 9/11 and the rape of all those and murder of all those Jewish people on the 8th of October was incidental to the brutal oppression of the Palestinian people, where a war of genocide is being waged on. I don't know if it's a war of genocide. Certainly, the um, the Israelis are bad at it since there are millions and millions of Palestinians, and they don't seem to be being whittled away, which is genocide. It's the destruction of a race or ethnic group or a religious order. This means, therefore, al-Kaki do AOC, Yabao. Yes, AOC, who was another woman who claimed white supremacy and white, well, obviously, she tortured a man who was Irish and his father Irish and white as you can get for 9 years. Ah, can you imagine being AOC's boyfriend and being white and being a little pudgy? Oh, my dear God. That woman has a mouth on her. The waitress, as I like to call her, destroyed Midtown by not letting, I believe, one of the tech people or the Amazons or whatever into the city, which would have brought in thousands of jobs. Instead, those people who had gotten jobs and be independent of the system were forced to be part of the system. Was that the plan, my friend? Ah. And what about the bow? Oh, that Irishman. I know Irish, Jesus. He has red hair, blonde hair. Ah, but he was used by this woman as a punching bag. You know he was a beta on a beta, a Hydra, a wimp to take this woman's bull. Ah, but she didn't have a nice body. In fact, she injected herself with eggs to preserve them because she doesn't need a man anymore. I thought she was preggo anyway. She had gained a little weight. Too many meals with rich people. Oh, yes. Many, many Democrats are rich people, upper middle class too, wealthy beyond belief. Yet they have been indoctrinated to believe in a Marxist system that would destroy them if it came about. Delete that leftist tweets. The man in Wisconsin, he doesn't like football. He's an Arabic man, and he's against football because it's toxic masculinity and is imperialist somehow, communist. And he doesn't like the 4th of July. Oh, is that the woman in Wisconsin, the Chinese lady? She doesn't like um, because the indigenous people, it was a celebration of disenfranchising the indigenous people of the area, colonization. Doesn't she know, this idiot, that everywhere things were colonized, and truly were, that they were in colonization in its beginning was one of the greatest things. We civilized the savages. Yes, civilized them. The indigenous people fought, and they weren't peaceful. They weren't like living off the land and loving each other. They were at war with each other too. They had bloody wars between the various tribes. If they had been united, they would have driven us into the sea. But they could be easily one against the other. This is the concept of indigenous population. Silly, silly. Are we supposed to put on a pedestal the losers of history and then uh, bankroll them to ascendancy? And what about the conflict of hierarchies of loserism? Who was oppressed more? Oh my God. How about who's the winner more? Let your role model be the winners of history, not the losers. Kate turned pale. Kate is with her agenda of backing these communists, but she can't back it so much. She is turning her air against the communists who want to get rid of the rich or eat them or reach their income. The rich do owe their fair share of taxes, but they pay most of the taxes in this world. Yes, they do. The rich are not getting any bargain. It's true. Rent is too damn high. Now, rent for the general population is too high. Oh, it's about $7,000 for the new arrivals. Ridiculous. But everybody wants to be here. What to do? What to do? You can make more housing, but then people will want to come in. Everyone wants to come into the United States or Manhattan. Oh, yes. To see the bright lights of Broadway. Although they're not that bright now and wouldn't be under the communists because they want to lower the lights. And there's one the congressman who wants you to have a limited amount of range to drive your car. You have to take public transportation. These are hippies. Hippies should be nowhere near power. They're mad, I tell you. Mad. Oh, they're insane. Now they say the doc spread his seed. Spread his seed. You came to his clinic to get impregnated because you were having trouble having babies. Then he would give you the seed of a college student who had talent and intelligence. Well, that college student happened to be him. And about 1,000 people he impregnated with his seed. The man wanted to have the power to have a half the population in his locality related to each other. He didn't care about two-headed babies or mother and the father being siblings. No, no, there's a good reason why that is frowned upon. Because as people used to be marrying each other and close relatives or cousins, they expanded it. So there's second cousins, third cousins, fifth cousins. And eventually They met other tribes. In those days, the other tribes would do the hoopy-doo. Yes, the hoopy-doo. And it was a process, a slow process, sometimes speeded up by war. Uh, Ah, Night of the Living Dead boobs. People, women, I love you and I love big boobs. I love big boobs, but not made of dead people. They're taking the fat out of dead people and inserting it into the breasts. Night of the Living Dead breasts. No, 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 you can't do that to me. You can't. I don't want to be in the middle of a situation, if you know what I mean, with a woman who's buxom and beautiful, slim, mysteriously slim, yet buxom and beautiful, and find out there's a corpse underneath her boobies. Boo, boo, it might go. And I'd be haunted. No good. Ah, Nazis. Now, there's some little racism in this country that you have to fake it. Actually, the Southern Law Quality Organization said there's a lot of racism. But the only way they could get a lot of racism is if they subsidize the Nazis. Bring them their little bed sheets and their iron crosses, twisted cross, and all that. And then the woman who was distributing the money, she fell in love with the bad boy Nazi. Ah, but why not? A leftist and a Nazi, there's not much difference. Both believe in big government. Both want to change the very structure of society by tampering with it. The Nazis by killing Jews and robbing babies and among babies. Not you, and they're robbing the baby. They were taking the baby away to be raised by Aryan people. Latin babies. Let me tell you something. That's not right. Let it happen naturally, not force it, you dumb Nazi bastard. And what about the communists? Oh, the new man without God and somebody up there who likes me. What is life? But a random event. And the universe friend. A random situation. Well, you won't get me to agree to that. I'd rather have a malevolent or benevolent God take your change than no God at all. Oh God, I try to understand you. I really do, I do. Sometimes you neglect me, or you are getting very close to doing me in. It's all right, Lord. I like you a lot. I'll try to understand why you're allowed. Oh Lord, yes, I don't want. Maybe I can change my Lord's Prayer from to, oh, thank you, Lord, for my life, to, what's the matter with you? What did I ever do to you? Maybe you're alive. Coming and sense. Coming home of age. Children are not leaving their homes. Oh, no, no, my friends. They're staying at home because they can't afford to get their own place. It used to be once you got to a certain age, when you're going off to college, that was it. Bye bye, mommy. Bye bye, daddy. Now we're taking the European mode of the Italians, and children are staying with their parents long after they should have their own place. Oh, this is a rich, excuse me. Oh, come on. Shall Ah, everybody wants to be an American. That's why we can't have open borders. Because everybody would come here. They don't come to these red Marxist utopias. You don't see people sailing through shark-infested waters to Cuba, while others run to New York, run to New York from boats that land from the sea, or swim 90 miles. Must be lousy for you to be so desperate. Ah, train time again. Ah, a man, a criminal, great criminal, with 40 or 50 bucks could not be put in jail on because They have a no cash, no bail. He's a poor man. Ooh, you bastard. Save some money. A man has done a lot of crime. He at least did one of those crimes. Yes, execution. And I don't mean I poured out in an execution. I mean one in the back of the head, two in the back of the head. Or maybe you could really take a idea out of the Russian book and put him in the equivalent of Siberia, Alaska. Oh, yes. See how gardens. Oh, we're going to destroy those. It's going to destroy a beautiful garden in Midtown to make public housing for the poor. My. We don't need no more places for the poor. What we need is for the middle class and not some jerky ass. It's certainly not fine as. Uh, AOC feels, uh, what? Singled out? Why, because she's a woman? Because she's a Latino? Stop complaining, you. And all you also, yes. Uh, Jew hating New Yorkers. New York, America. There's more Jew hating going on in Manhattan than anywhere. Yet this has the biggest population of Jewish people. Interesting. And many misguided dopes support the Palestinians in their fight against supposed Israeli oppression. There's no that land belongs to Jews. God himself said, you may have the land of that. And, yeah, have a contract with the Lord himself. Now, the Lord may have been paying taxes as way of one of his practical jokes, because that's how I mean sense of humor. And putting 10 million Jews, or 20 million, give or take a Jew, in front of 100 million to 200 million to 300 million to nearly a billion Muslims surrounding him who want him dead. Oh, yes. More spots to them. Marxists believe that since capitalism has its faults, and let me tell you something about capitalism. You need, as long as the individual capitalist is just and honest, they will be reasonable. A city, I remember Ben Shapiro, which most of the time I agree with, who said that if you can't afford to New York, you shouldn't live here. Ben, why don't you just sell people the diamonds from little red flags? Do you have money invested in that? No, much fun. Doesn't work that way. You have to be rewarding good behavior. In other words, somebody is living there with a small business or a medium business. They have this other stuff that's kept the city afloat on other bad times. They deserve housing that they can afford. Now, if you're a junkie, and I mean not somebody who has somebody who's embraced the lifestyle and refuses to fight it and conks people over the head for no apparent reason whatsoever, just because they're vulnerable, well, God's gonna get you. Oh yes, indeed you do. Indeed you do. She's a squatter. Go into somebody's home. You realize if I went on vacation, which I can't, I'm a poor man, somebody comes in my house and swats there. I'm squat upon. It would take months for me to get rid of him or her. Well, perhaps if it was a her, we could make an accommodation. Never mind. I'm not that kind of God. I am picture God. Victorious God. Glorious God. Jersey doesn't stink. You haven't been downwind, my friend, writer friend. It's a Jersey garbage time. Garbage belong to Jersey Demps. Them, and I love them all the same. But I love my ankles on the other side. I see good things in them, but primarily they're full of tucky doo doo. It's true. Uh, Something I'm not always infallible. I am not the Pope and I am not God in that sense. Although a piece of God isn't, Vlad's, rather than Putin, I thought he would overrun and overcome the Ukrainians, but the Ukrainians are fighting on. He even started seeing real genocide when the Nazi commies, the same difference, starved the whole state of Ukraine. Uh, and 6 million people died, 6 or 7 million, pre-Holocaust. Ah, it's a shame, it's a change. Let me tell you something. They get the wrong lessons from history. You're supposed to treat your people who are tolerant of you with tolerance. That's not the way of the Reds communists today. Bernie's poverty program? Oh, he's trying to say, Mr. Communist, old communist, why doesn't that man die? Oh, he tortures dogs. He falsified records so it wouldn't be his hands with blood on them. But somebody else, he hung it out to somebody else, probably Thanos. He was in Thanos film. What's his name? Ah, Max Spot, the arms coming through. Max Spot condemns moronic IOs. Defund the police. No, we have to realize there are people who are criminals who have to be punished in the harshest way possible. Or you'll have a women's shelter in which naked people fight each other, naked women. Perhaps I have to rethink my concept of homeless shelters. Rage baiters. There are some who wish to make a statement. They have a black boy interest. Because the women are encouraging this. Because it's fun to do the making on the grown up. And not so fun when you're doing a sketch. Ah, yes. I believe we will close this chapter. I hope I was coherent enough to do this. You're picking on the mess. I'm a Trumpy soldier marching as to war with the sword of Jesus, twice as strong as before. What didn't stop?